Have you ever visited one of the Detroit Zoo's habitats and been unable to see its animal inhabitants? In this episode of Animal Welfare Tales, learn why some of the animals who live at the Detroit Zoo may be difficult to see and how practicing empathy can help you find them. The Detroit Zoo is home to more than 2,000 individual animals of over 200 species. These animals live in expansive, naturalistic habitats in which they can engage in species-specific behaviors. They can also choose which of these behaviors to engage in and when to engage in them. The animals' habitats and their behavioral choices are both critical to their overall mental, physical, and emotional states, or welfare. That said, the animals' habitats and behavioral choices also mean that they can be difficult to see at any given time. For example, consider gray wolves Casca and Renner. They live in the cotton family wolf wilderness, a 2-acre habitat that features grassy hills and meadows, a flowing stream and pond, elevated rock outcroppings, and a den. When a guest visits their habitat, the wolves may be playing in the pond or standing on an outcropping, making them easy to see, or laying in a meadow or resting in the den, making them difficult to see. Knowing that our commitment to the great welfare of the animals under our care can make them difficult to see, we have some tips for finding these difficult to see animals. Before sharing them, though, let's learn about empathy. Empathy is, quote, a stimulated emotional state that relies on the ability to perceive, understand, and care about the experiences or perspectives of another person or animal, end quote. This ability is at the core of each of our tips. Tip 1 is to visit habitats when their animal inhabitants are most likely to be active. As you plan your zoo visit, ask yourself, if I were a certain animal, when would I be most active? Remembering that some animals are active at different times from other animals and from us humans. For example, if you want to visit the Australian Outback Adventure Habitat, ask yourself, if I were a red kangaroo, when would I be most active? Kangaroos are crepuscular, meaning that they are most active at dawn and dusk. Therefore, to see them at their most active, plan to visit their habitat at the beginning of your visit. Tip 2 is to look for animals in the parts of their habitats that they are most likely to be. As you stand in front of their habitat, ask yourself, if I were one of these animals, where would I be right now? Remembering that animals may have very different preferences from other animals and from us humans. For example, if you were at the water monitor habitat, ask yourself, if I were Solaire, the water monitor, where would I be right now? Water monitors are cold-blooded, which means that they require an external heat source to stay warm. Therefore, if you cannot see Solaire, look on or near the heated rocks. Tip 3 is to be patient as you are visiting habitats and looking for animals. If you don't see an animal right away, or they are resting, wait a few minutes, or come back to the habitat later on. For example, if you are at the Japanese macaque habitat and none of the macaques are active, wait a few minutes. The macaques, particularly the young ones, Hana, June, and Umi, engage in a wide range of behaviors, and there is a good chance that if they are resting 1 minute, they may be playing the next minute. The next time you visit the Detroit Zoo, practice these 3 tips to have an even more impactful visit. Moreover, remember that if an animal is difficult to see, that is a sign that they are experiencing great welfare and is actually something to celebrate.